Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Canadian Forces snowbirds started landing in Thunder Bay today in preparation for their first performance in our city since 2020.
The team is gearing up for an exciting weekend of aerobatics at the waterfront, marking the beginning of the Snowbirds 2023 season. Vasilios Bellos was there when the first plane landed today. He joins us live in the studio to tell us about it. Vasilios.
Thanks, Ryan. The Snowbirds will be performing twice this weekend at the waterfront, featuring some of their classic maneuvers, including the Canadian Burst and the Maple Splits. The visit will go beyond the performances, though, with the Snowbirds taking time for a meet and greet at the marina, where people can get autographs and see a demo cockpit up close. For the first time since 2020, the Canadian Forces Snowbirds have started arriving in Thunder Bay for what should be an amazing weekend of performances. The first plane landed at around 4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. The aerobatics team will be performing 30-minute shows Saturday and Sunday at the waterfront as part of the city's 40th annual Kite Festival. Captain Richard McDougall was in the first plane to land in Thunder Bay and says the performances will offer a fantastic experience.
Loops and rolls in formation, you'll get some exciting solo crosses in front of the crowd with bursts and Canada Bursts, Maple Splits, and all the signature maneuvers with some of our old music that we're bringing back this year and some new snowbird music that we're adding to the mix.
The Snowbirds Thunder Bay stop is the first of their 2023 season, with 20 other communities on their docket. The visit in our city will have more than just the performance, with opportunities for a meet and greet, autograph signing, and a demo cockpit of the Snowbird CF-18. Captain Eric Temple says there's plenty for the community this weekend and says the team is excited to begin their season here.
Tremendous aviation community here in Thunder Bay, and that's why we wanted to come here with the program at Confederation College. We're always stopping here for fuel stops, so it's about time we came back and did the proper full aerobatic high show.
Both Snowbirds Saturday and Sunday performances will run from noon until 12:30, with the meet and greet at 2:30 at Marina Park on Saturday. Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
The recent spike in forest fires around the north has prompted the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry to impose a restricted fire zone across the region, starting at midnight tonight. The fire ban impacts all 13 districts in the northwest and will remain in effect until conditions improve. Campfires and all other types of outdoor burning aren't allowed until the fire ban is lifted. Officials with Thunder Bay Fire Rescue have confirmed that they'll follow suit and suspend all burning permits starting tomorrow. A large fire near White River continues to burn, but Highway 631 to Hornpain was reopened to traffic late last night. The fire hazard in the northwest actually subsided today and ranges from low to extreme around the region. A local man has been arrested on child pornography charges. 34-year-old Scott Letourneau was taken into custody this morning. This after police seized electronic devices from a Northwood home 2 weeks ago. Letourneau faces 3 child pornography-related charges and has been remanded into custody.
Organizers of the 2024 Ontario Winter Games are getting excited as they continue to prepare for one of the largest sporting events in Thunder Bay's history.
Large banners were unveiled at City Hall today as officials announced the game's presenting sponsor, Hydro One. Jess Clement has the details.
With the Ontario Winter Games being 9 months away, organizers are already hard at work preparing to deliver participants an unforgettable experience. Organizers also want residents to get excited about the February sporting event, and to keep it on people's minds, banners will soon be up around the city. Games co-chair Barry Stribe says being able to host the games is a big deal for Thunder Bay.
In Ontario, we're considered a smaller community, but it's amazing how we can rise up to the challenge and present ourselves like we're not a small community. We just want to get people excited about what this event is going to mean to our community from an economic development perspective. We're going to see some really good results from that too.
The games are expecting to bring over 3,000 people to the city, and in order to prepare for that, organizers have to secure a lot of accommodations in town. Coordinator Matthew Lawrence says they're looking for community members and volunteers to help out.
We'll be doing a large call for volunteers probably mid-September of this year, and we're looking to identify approximately 1,000 volunteers to help out with the games because we're spread out over such a large area and so many venues, and there's a lot of needs for the athletes. And so we'll be reaching out to the community in the fall and hopefully to secure some of that help from the community.
Strib adds that hosting next year's games can also set a precedent for Thunder Bay to host more events of that caliber in the future.
That is precisely why our team and all of our volunteers will do the very best job we can to show everybody that we are professionals when it comes to hosting major events, whether it's across Canada or provincially. We've demonstrated that on a number of occasions, and we will continue to do that.
The event is expected to cost $2.7 million, with the province committing $1.5 million, the city giving $250,000, and Hydro One sponsorship bringing in $100,000. Organizers are still looking for more sponsors and support from local businesses. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Southbridge Care Home has once again decided to delay the construction of a new long-term care facility in Thunder Bay. The company originally hoped to turn sod on a 160-bed seniors home on Clavette Street in early 2022, but the project was then pushed back to this year. Now, a spokesperson for Southbridge says they're unable to give a definite construction date. Instead, the company is focusing on redeveloping all the older Class C homes in its portfolio. The three-story building is meant to replace the aging Southbridge Lakehead Nursing Home on Vickers Street, which has 131 beds. Southbridge insists it's looking forward to offering a state-of-the-art home in Thunder Bay and will continue to update stakeholders about the redevelopment process.
Construction is now fully underway at Hillcrest Park. The two entranceways are closed to all traffic as the pavement is being torn up as part of an $800,000 renewal project. The asphalt along Colonel Keene Drive at Hillcrest is in rough shape and is now being replaced. City project engineer Matthew Miedema says barring delays, the work is expected to be finished in about 5 weeks. And although some parts of Hillcrest will remain accessible, residents are being asked to avoid the park until the construction is finished.
Work has started on Hillcrest Park, so this is part of a renewal project for the road and the parking lot here. So we'll be removing the asphalt and repaving it, putting a new curb and gutter and adding some new sidewalks. And another part of the work is new seating areas and some upgrades to lighting.
Miedema was on site for the first day of construction. He says the project should be pretty straightforward, but will be dependent on favorable weather for all the curbs and paving to be finished on time in early July.
A billing error that affected about 47,000 residential Synergy North customers over 4 years will cost the utility roughly $26,000. Synergy North says it accidentally overbilled some customers by tallying their invoices using a 30-day period rather than 31. The utility self-reported to the Ontario Energy Board in March. The mistake only cost customers about 36 cents overall. Because many of those affected are no longer Synergy North customers, it will make a $20,000 contribution to the Low-Income Energy Assistance Program to help utility users in need. Synergy North will also pay a $6,000 penalty.
Fort Frances OPP have charged a 12-year-old with arson after a fire burned down a building at the town's waste transfer station. And as a result of the fire, recycling pickup for residents and businesses has been put on hold. The recycle transfer station building burned to the ground on Saturday afternoon. OPP were then called in on Monday morning, and the youth was arrested as a result of the investigation. The building contained electrical components needed to operate 2 recycling compactors. Fort Frances officials have paused depot and curbside recyclable collection and are working to restore the electricity to get both compactors running again in a week or two. It may take a couple of months to get curbside recycling back. Town officials have asked the public to stop leaving recyclables at the depot until the compactors are operational again.
This year's Tim Hortons Smile Cookie campaign raised close to $127,000 in Thunder Bay. Half the proceeds were given to the George Jeffrey Foundation today, and the other half went to the Firefighters Toys for Tots campaign. With just shy of $20 million raised nationally, the Smile Cookie campaign was a huge success this year. Franchise owners and the charities who received the donations were confident beforehand that in spite of an increase to the price of each cookie from $1 to $1.50, that Thunder Bay would come together to support the cause. And that's exactly what happened. 2 checks for nearly $60,000 apiece were presented today.
Yeah, so another hugely successful Smile Cookie campaign. We raised almost $120,000, which is just incredible. We were a little bit concerned about the price going up, but didn't have any effect whatsoever. We sold basically the same amount of units, so we're able to give more to the charities, which is fantastic.
We're just really grateful to Tim Hortons for this amount. The reason that our brotherhood does this charity is because of family.
It feels great. All of our hard work paid off. The people came, bought cookies, even though the price went up this year. And we're super happy. We're so grateful to all the volunteers and the staff of Tim Hortons and the owners for keeping us involved with this campaign every year.
Money from the cookie sales will support programming at George Jeffrey and ensure that children in need get toys during the Christmas season.
It's a tale as old as time. Paramount Theatre is set to come alive with the magic of Disney tonight as more than 20 senior students from Paramount Live showcase their talent in Beauty and the Beast.
There goes the baker with his tray like always, sing of red nose to sound.
Audiences will be transported into the classic Disney story as they follow Belle, a young woman living in a provincial town, and the Beast, a young prince trapped under the spell of an enchantress. The Beast's only hope for salvation lies in his ability to love and be loved in return. If he fails, he and his entire household will remain cursed for all eternity. The production will run tonight until June 3rd, with the curtain rising at 7 o'clock each evening. The group has been working on the production for a few months. Actor Charlotte Pye says they're excited to bring the beloved fairy tale to the stage.
I think all this music and dancing is very well known. This is a classic show, so I think a lot of people, mostly children, will be very excited to see this play, and we hope that they like it.
It is very lovely, yes. It is very exciting for all of our hard work to finally pay off.
Great costumes there. Tickets can be found online at Eventbrite, or they can be purchased at the door at the Paramount Theatre.
It's official. Thunder Bay's last payphone was disconnected and removed this morning. The one next to the T-Baytel Telephone Exchange building on Court Street had been there for decades, and its removal marks the end of an era. Quick work was made of the payphone after first being shut off by T-Baytel on Tuesday, and the final 2 quarters to get jammed into its coin slot waited patiently for the last time a technician would be by to remove them. The utility announced in January that it would be decommissioning its remaining 200 payphones due to a lack of use and rising maintenance costs. 2 of the payphones have been donated to the Thunder Bay Museum, where they'll be kept as historical items.